I am Deepthi Pawa, one of the founding partners of LISA, and we are absolutely thrilled and overwhelmed with the support and encouragement we have been getting from this extensive Stanford community ever since LISA launched in 2020. We greatly appreciate your presence here today as viewers, participants, and most importantly, our guest speakers and panelists who are supporting us with your valuable time, guidance, and insight. A brief overview about the agenda today. Today's session is planned for 1 hour 30 minutes. First, we will take you through a brief overview of LISA and the Cohort 3 journey. Then we will hear from our LISA Board of Advisors, Davina Drapkin, who is here and is a keen supporter of LISA since the time it started 2 years back. We also have the honor of having two guest speakers today, Jeffrey Prickett, Director of Stanford Seed, who will talk about Seed program and how it is training business leaders in the developing economies. As well as we have Jim Doney, President and CEO of Urban Aviation Startup Group, Armada Aeronautics, who will inspire our founders with his own entrepreneurial success story. At 10:30, we will officially begin with the final pitch fest for our top 8 selected panelists who've gone through this LISA journey in the last 12 weeks. Right after the pitch fest, we have a special keynote from Alexander Osterwalder, the inventor of Business Model Canvas. He couldn't be here in person today, but has recorded a short keynote to support and inspire LISA founders community. And right after Alex's keynote, we would announce the top 3 winners of the Pitch Fest today. For those of you joining LISA event for the first time today, the Lead Incubator and Startup Accelerator LISA was founded by Stanford GSB Lead participants for entrepreneurial ventures within Lead community. It is a curated ecosystem for innovators and startup founders with unrivaled support and services. It is the first hybrid platform for incubating ideas to MVP and then scaling those ventures globally. We bring together the right tools, network, and expert insights to succeed ventures from anywhere around the world with just a computer and internet access. The founding team present here, myself, Edward, Pavel, and Misha, who envisioned LISA, also saw this venture as a great way to continue to engage lead alums in the Stanford ecosystem even after finishing their formal studies by way of engagement in their own entrepreneurial projects or through mentorship, offering support through other consulting or facilitation services, and give back and stay connected to this community. We believe that innovations do not just happen, they can be as difficult to introduce as the challenges they're trying to solve. And to enable the success of LISA Ventures and provide research-based toolkits to our founders, we leverage the best in line with LISA design facilitation services. This could not have been possible without the support of Stanford and in specific Davina, who has been tirelessly supporting us since LISA's inception. We entered into a collaboration with Stanford Embark in the beginning of 2021, and their support continues for the upcoming cohorts into 2022 as well. For those of you not familiar with Stanford Embark, it is an interactive toolkit for emerging and established entrepreneurs. The resource is designed by Stanford GSB's world-class faculty and successful entrepreneurs, combining high-level insights on building ventures with tactical steps necessary for launching and validating a successful and sustainable business. While Embark provides research-based curriculum design, LISA designed an entire ecosystem of facilitation, engagement, and on-the-ground work to be that accountability partner for entrepreneurs. As the basis of Stanford Embark and LISA supported content, founders go through a content over a period of 12 weeks that enables them to identify target customers and build personas, develop a prototype, create value propositions, define a go-to-market strategy, and determine the right profit model. The accountability services here include design thinking sessions with dedicated design facilitator for each team, storytelling and pitching sessions, mentoring sessions, ongoing demo pitch sessions, recorded versions of business and financial model design, legal and fundraising workshops, an extensive engagement platform, and weekly cohort engagement calls and office hours. Through this cohort 3 and the upcoming cohort 4, we are prototyping and testing our in-house digital incubation platform to bring everything entrepreneurs need to succeed at one place. Peer discussions, curriculum on demand, gamification of engagement, exchange of information, services, and facilitation. Cohort 3 tried a bit of the curriculum part of that features. Back then, when we started, we did not even imagine how big this initiative would become. Lisa today has been able to make the most out of the distributed nature of the groups within the community that could come together to serve as a thriving innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem that is very unique and fosters amazing collaborations. We've run 3 cohorts so far, 70 plus ideas incubated within extensive mentors and experts network support. Since cohort 2, we have now extended our reach to ideas and founders from Stanford MBA, MSX, and in cohort 3, we also got ventures from Stanford Seed that we are extremely proud of. We believe the next generation of unicorn companies will be built remote first and come from distributed, diverse teams. And that is why Lisa is highly committed to increasing entrepreneur diversity. Our current cohort 3, that started with 18 ideas, came from various geographical regions as well as great mix of all ethnicities. The goal is to create equitable access to network and education for entrepreneurs and pair them together with equally diverse facilitation mentors and leadership team to transform the entrepreneurial ecosystem together. And as you can see, the leadership and facilitation team that supported cohort 3 is equally diverse in geographical location, industry expertise, and ethnicity. In every entrepreneurship hotspot, there are important connectors and influencers who may not be entrepreneurs themselves. And we at Lisa believe in recalibrating these mindsets and expanding skill sets by way of having these amazing people join our team and curate the best ecosystem imaginable. We had the honor of working with this absolutely amazing executive leadership team from within Lead community who provided unrivaled services and support to our founders through this last 12-week journey. Lisa offers heartfelt gratitude to them for all their support. They were the most important team possible within this cohort. One of the biggest success factors of this program are our design thinking facilitators. This is an excellent design thinking expert team who supported each team through individual guidance and support to the founding teams. We would also like to thank our mentors to our founding teams from within Stanford Lead community who gave their valuable time, expert advice, and mentorship to our founders. With that, I would like to introduce our board of advisors. They are definitely one of the biggest reasons to drive this forward and succeeding. Without the support of Stanford Lead faculty and staff and the extraordinary enthusiasm and engagement from the wider Lead community, we couldn't make this initiative bigger and better. Marine and Singari could not be here today, but send their best wishes to pitching participants. But I would like to invite Davina to add some words here.
Great, Deepti, thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. This is a really exciting part of the process. You've been putting in a tremendous amount of hard work, and I recognize a number of names and faces from seeing you at a couple steps along this journey. And now is the time to celebrate and bask in what you've learned and what you're able to share with the community. I want to highlight just one or two things in particular. I recognize also a lot of faces from our Stanford Rebuild initiative already, a year and a half ago, and prior to that. And one of the things that we found in the needs finding that we did, that using the process that we teach you in Stanford Embark, was that for many people around the world, and we clearly have a global community here today, really the only access that people had to learning about entrepreneurship was via the internet. And when you get on the internet and type in the word entrepreneurship or any derivative, you will see that you are overwhelmed with responses and resources and web pages that you can go to. And so one of our key insights was aspiring entrepreneurs were really looking for a curated set of resources from a trusted source so they knew what steps they really needed to take. And that is what drove the creation of Stanford Embark. What we learned along that process, and the other half of what the Stanford Rebuild Innovation Sprint was about, was that just working in an asynchronous environment, so you on your own time frame with a curriculum is not enough. And that's where I'm really grateful to Lisa and what they've done with this program. They provide that whole ecosystem. They provide cohorts, they provide mentors, they provide people for you to check in with and help you along the process. That is so important to the work that you are doing. You know that there are wins and celebrations, and that there are the deepest lows and frustrations, and that didn't go the way that you had hoped, or you can't believe that it turned out that way. And then if any of you who actually have launched anything, oh my gosh, funding, anything like that, right? And those ups and downs can happen in a single day. And that is why it is so important to have this community around you. So I want to call that out. I want to make sure that we all express our gratitude and appreciation to Edward and Deepti and the whole founding team. I'm not going to name everybody, but take this moment as a time. This is one of those wins and celebrations, and that is so important to do during your entrepreneurial process. And you're not doing it alone, you're doing it with a cohort of people here. So with that, enjoy today, and I will pass it back.
Thank you, Davina. Thanks for your inspiring words always, and always supporting us. Next up, we have the honor of having Jeffrey Prickett from Stanford Seed say a few words for the community here. Jeffrey.
Thank you, Deepti. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Yes, my name is Jeff Prickett. I'm Global Director for Stanford Seed, which means I am involved in the management operations of our programs, which are currently being run in South Asia and Africa. And thanks to Edward and Deepti for reaching out to me. I must admit, there's so much going on at Stanford and at the Graduate School of Business, it's hard to keep up with everything. I was actually unaware of Lisa myself until we met last week and discussed it. I was aware of LEAD and of course, Davina, it's great to see you and hear about what the Lisa team is doing with Embark. I'll touch on that a little bit because we've also taken the next steps. And of course, I was really excited to hear that some of our network members from the Seed Transformation Program are taking part in LEAD. And Lisa, Frank Cadio from Burkina, bonjour Frank. It's good to see that a lot of people are connecting with each other across the different programs. So I'm going to talk a little bit today just about Stanford Seed. I don't know how many you're aware of what we do and how long we've been operating. And that's what we discussed last week, Deepti and Edward. So let me get started. I'm going to pull up my presentation here. There we go. And there's a picture of some of our beautiful entrepreneurs from West Africa. Let's see here, there we go. Okay, so Stanford Seed was founded in 2011. At the time, our dean of the business school, Gar Sloaner, a native of South Africa, actually, and Robert and Dorothy King came together with a vision to really harness what Stanford and the Graduate School of Business do and take them out into developing economies to increase the level of prosperity and also bring the world back to Stanford. And we'll talk about that a little bit today. So our vision, harnessing what Bob and Dorothy and Garth talked about initially, is to leverage entrepreneurship and the general management principles that are taught at the business school to help contribute to ending the cycle of global poverty by increasing the number of opportunities and the funding available for entrepreneurs in emerging markets. So we partner in doing so with entrepreneurs in emerging markets to try to build thriving enterprises that transform lives. And this is a picture of one of our entrepreneurs, Linda Ampa, who has a tailoring business. They make all sorts of beautiful attire in Ghana. And our theory of change is really in partnering with business leaders. We take the content like Embark and what is taught at LEAD here, and we carry that into the world. Some of that is taught by Stanford faculty. We also have our own staff on the ground in India, Kenya, Ghana, and Botswana who work with the leaders and the teams of the firms of our program to make this high touch training and really make it practically applicable to the companies, and so that they can apply those to their businesses and grow their business and make them perform more effectively in carrying out what they do in terms of product and service delivery. We do, I want to mention, have some earlier stage programs. Our flagship program is the Seed Transformation Program, which I'll touch on mainly today. But we have taken Embark, and Davina, I think you know this, and we are running Seed Spark now in South Asia. We're running 2 cohorts of about 200 entrepreneurs a year based currently in Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh. And we're also starting a prototype in Senegal right now and French West Africa. So a lot of exciting things. So we'll have to touch base and talk about that. We're also collaborating with the Africa Management Institute to collaborate with them on a program that kind of touches those companies that would feed into our Seed Transformation Program. So always a lot going on at Stanford and at Seed as well.
Joseph, did you rope someone?
I think we have to mute someone there. I can hear someone.
You can unmute yourself, Jeff. Now I muted everyone.
Thank you. On it. Getting good at this Zoom thing, I think. So the Seed Transformation Program, pardon me, I didn't edit out the new photo that we need to change there at the title. So what we're focused on here, and this is what we started in 2013 in West Africa, and have since then expanded to East Africa, Southern Africa, and South Asia, is really looking for high potential leaders of SMEs. And we'll talk about what that is. And it's a 12-month program where it's previously was being done in person. Sometimes the leaders come together. Other times we go out to the companies and work with the leaders and teams themselves. We're currently doing it all online, but we hope with the next cohort to begin reintroducing a hybrid program. And it's really about training leaders and teams to scale their businesses. And this is kind of an outline of the curriculum that takes place over 12 months. It's really about, looking at your strategy and your vision, mission, and strengths and weaknesses of your firm, looking at your core operations and your finances, then beginning to look at your growth opportunities and putting a plan in place to build upon those growth opportunities. And at the end, you submit a transformation plan, which really speaks to those growth opportunities that you want to leverage and how you're going to fund it, et cetera, et cetera. So that's really the core of the Seed Transformation Program. We're always making changes to it and innovating upon it each year. This is the geographic representation of our participants to date. Again, we started in West Africa, so that's why the numbers are higher there. East Africa, Southern Africa is a bit unique in terms of the mapping. If you're familiar with the African geography, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Mozambique would be part of Southern Africa. We work with De Beers Group in Southern Africa, and they have us targeting just their supplier countries, which is Namibia, Botswana, and South Africa. So that's why it's ring fenced a little differently in terms of seeds nomenclature. But we're about 1,000 participants, and we're going to be recruiting the next cohort starting in April of this year, which will start next year. And this, in terms of geographic diversity, we're sector agnostic. Again, we're really looking for high potential firms that can maximize an impact. And every country is a little different in terms of what sector can have the most impact in the present and in the future. A lot of our firms are ICT, but you see a lot of diversity otherwise. And we like that. Firms in different sectors learning from each other promote a lot of different learnings and a lot of synergies across sectors, but also within sectors. Gender, I love to see your slide there, Deepti, when you talked about diversity. In addition to geographic and sector diversity, we're always trying to get more women in the program. We're really pleased that we're up to about 30% right now. Stronger representation in East and Southern Africa. We still have some work to do in India and Bangladesh, where we're about 12% in the current cohort. So we're always trying to strive for a more diverse and gender balanced cohort. So again, this is who we're looking for. It's got to be the CEO or the person, the strategic decision maker, who's the main applicant to the program. Most sectors are available. Of course, if you're in the arms trade and harm businesses, we're not going to want to admit you into the program. And we're looking for firms with revenue between $300,000 and $115 million. Of course, we want them to be locally owned because we want that investment to be plowed back into the economies in which we're working in. And our next application opens on April 1st of this year. And you see the address there where you can find the application. But the engagement doesn't stop there with the Seed Transformation Program. As they finish the program, which some of you know, we have a network, which is the alumni program for the Seed Transformation Program. And we have chapters in Nigeria, India, Ghana, Southern Africa, different countries, Kenya, Ethiopia. They're already doing things on their own, these chapters, lobbying the local governments for policy change, CSR programs, training other startup firms. So this is kind of the vision that Bob and Dottie had when we started the program for this to take off on its own, and it's already starting to happen. In addition to that, we continue to offer programs to the companies, the leaders, post Seed Transformation Program. And that's something I wanted to talk to you all about because you might be interested, as Edward has been, serving as a consultant for Seed in the coaching, consulting, or if you're a student at Stanford, you could also do the intern program. The coaching program is a really high touch engagement where before COVID, our coaches went and lived in Kenya and Ghana and India and worked for 5 or 6 firms over a 6-month period to help them implement their transformation program. So we're looking for coaches if that might be something that's interesting to you. It's currently online, but we're planning to reintroduce in-person coaching. And we cover insurance, housing, and travel and so forth. It's really a cost-neutral program because of our impact focus. The consulting program is another program. It's pro bono. You can work remotely from anywhere in the world, and that's what Edward is working on. Rolling applications ongoing, and that's really if you want to do a marketing project, an operations project, or something on financing. There's a portal where the companies apply in a rolling manner, and then we put those projects up and the consultants can come and apply for those projects, and there's a matching, and then you work, for 1 to 6 months with the companies on those projects pro bono. And here's the contact person if you're interested, my colleague Joanna Hulk. If you're interested in either one of those programs, you can reach out to her at jhulk@stanford.edu, and she can answer any questions you have about either one of those programs. We also have an intern program. Again, it's not just about working with entrepreneurs, but encouraging Stanford students to go out and work in emerging markets, to carry them out into the world and build leaders of tomorrow as we're building firms of tomorrow. We had about 80 students intern last year remotely. Normally that's in person. It's an 8 to 10 week period. And again, similar to consulting, it's project-based, but more for students to work on in Nigeria and India and South Africa and so forth. And this was our total internship from last summer, amazing. And it's from undergraduate to graduate, MBAs to PhDs. We have a lot of students, and we do have some working in other markets. We have a build your own internship that some students work on in other emerging markets. And this is the data. We're just kind of putting together our 2021 impact data, and I'll wrap with that. I know I've probably been going on too long and cutting off the time for the next speaker. But we collect data every year from the firms that go through the program. And to continue to be part of the network, you have to submit your data. We had 80% of participants submit data last year, which is pretty amazing, I think. Some of them 7 years out of the program. So 57% of firms have increased revenue. Many of them introduce new products or services, leveraging design thinking, as Dipti was talking about. 60% have increased jobs. 60% have expanded into new geographies, and a lot of that is from them doing business with each other and meeting each other. We're at more than 400 million, approaching $500 million in funds raised in debt and equity by participants. And 40% of them, again, do business with one another. We create those connections across borders and beginning to integrate those previously unintegrated economies. And 195 million lives have been positively impacted by products and services from participants in the Seed Transformation Program. And this is the total revenue of firms that have gone through our program. And last, we do have a podcast as well. If you'd like to, You can find that on Apple Podcast or Spotify. Grit and Growth. Our executive director, Darius Teeter, interviews entrepreneurs, and they have faculty members from Stanford who participate in the podcast. So it's a fantastic thing, which broadens our audience in terms of what we're doing. So if you'd like to, if you're a podcast listener, check out Grit and Growth. And that's it. So I'll pause there, Dipti. My apologies if I've taken too much time.
Thank you so much, Jeff. No, not at all. It was great to hear from you. And also, it's amazing to see the impact that Seed Transformation Program has been having, as well as how you're creating and transforming these communities of entrepreneurs in developing countries. And not just for themselves, but also creating ventures in these developing countries. So really great to hear that. And of course, we wanted him to be here so that anybody who would want to be part of Seed program by way of consulting, coaching, please reach out and be a part of that change. Thank you so much again.
And I'll drop my name and email in the chat as well, along with Joanna, for anyone who'd like to reach out. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jeff. Thank you. Now we would like to invite Jim Johnny, for a keynote on his successful entrepreneurship journey.
Sure, I'm here.
Hi, Jim. Yeah.
Hello. All right. So I'll try to be short. Well, I'm actually 6 foot, but I'm trying to be short. So let's try this. So Misha invited me, I think, because he knows I pitched over maybe like 2,000 times. So I've done that a lot, and had small success. So I raised about 9 rounds. So this is what I'll probably try to share with you. And this is probably what's going to be useful for you, like from the practical standpoint. So one thing is there is actually no rules, right? You can take Stanford courses, you can take anything, but there is no rules in pitching, very strict rules. It's not an exact science. That being said, there are things which usually work. And for me, it is listen to your intuition. As a founder, so I have over 200 pitch decks. I created different pitch decks for every different person I pitched. Your intuition probably will tell you which pitch deck to use and how to pitch to a particular investor. If you don't have intuition, doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to be a good founder. You're not going to have a good company. Your intuition is what is going to drive you. So this is probably what it is. To me also, so as they mentioned, I work in aviation. We're trying to create a future of aviation. What worked the best for me is actually creating a world. To pitching to investor, as I'm trying to get, I know the world. I, as a founder, live in a world which my product will create. You want investor to be invited into that world, and you together live in that world. You need to understand everything about it. What people are there, how they're interacting with your product, with everything else, what is going on. Keep in mind, if you're pitching something which is not going to work tomorrow, but which is going to work in 5 or 10 years, the world is going to be different. You know, you cannot go where the puck is, you have to go where the puck will be, right? So you have to understand what is going to be there. If you're creating a technology, if you're creating a business, if you're creating a something, you are in this world. And make sure your investor also lives in this world with you together. So I grew up in USSR. And in USSR, we had communism, and we were taught that money is bad, working for government is good, and everything is so. So when I came to US, actually faced with the harsh capitalism. The thing which I learned very fast is it's actually more humane. People live in a better condition, and it's actually better from the human point of view, from people to people. And one of the reasons it's actually you guys, it's entrepreneurship. Creating the products which make people's lives better. This is actually what it's all about. By definition, if you create a nice product and somebody buys it, which means they need it, which means you created something good. You do something good for them, right? So whenever you create the products, make sure that you're making the world better, right? You're creating something for make people easier, in my case, to transport people from place A to place B. And this is a horrible problem right now, right? Think about all the frustration about you in traffic, like about like how you're trying to get there and it's slow and so on, right? So we're trying to make that better. Any product which you create should make the world better. It should make it easier, simpler, and so on. Altogether, it actually should solve the biggest problems, the hunger, the illnesses, and so on, right? You creating these products, they should be solving this. So as you're pitching to investors, you creating that world, which is much better than the world today. So pretty much what you do during a pitch, you take 2022, January 18, and you saying, with my product in 2023, January 18, this is how much better it will be. But you have to understand everything about it. So you know the very famous thing about the fish, right? If you give man a fish, he will not be hungry for one day. If you teach man how to fish, he will not be hungry for life. But if you create a correct business model, the whole village will not be hungry forever. You're not creating your product in a vacuum. We're creating our products we're creating a business model with everything which interacts with us, right? The business model means you're not in a vacuum. You're going to have like maybe suppliers, you're going to have like customers, you're going to have a lot of different things going on, right? So this is the world where kind of we need to put people. My favorite historical person is actually Thomas Edison. And Thomas Edison, there is a reason why. So some people like him, some people don't like him, especially with Tesla versus Edison and everything. I'm not even going to start on that. But what he did is he may not invented a lot of stuff. For example, the electric lamp, right? It's argumentative from the history point of view who invented what and so on. But if it would not be for Edison, we will not have the electric lighting and so on. We will still have candles. If it would not be for Edison, we would not have movies. He did not invent movies, but if it would not be for him, we would not have it. If it would not be for him, we would not have telephones. So in fact, what I want you to do right now, it's a very simple exercise, which I usually do when I present from the stage. Look around the room, wherever you are in front of you. Almost everything you see is because of Thomas Edison. And the main thing is because the distribution of electricity. Again, he may not have invented it, but he was an entrepreneur who created that distribution of electricity. So everything which uses electricity around you, this is because of him. Everything with all the lamps, all the video which we're using right now, right? He was that entrepreneur. And guess what? He pitched to the banks the same way as you do today. What he did 100 years ago, he went to the bankers and told them, imagine the world. Imagine the world in 100 years. So 100 years ago, Thomas Edison imagined to the bankers the exact world which we're living in right now. And I think this is the best advice I can give to create that. So you guys need to create that better world, the better world with better products where people are happier, not hungry, where it's easier to live for them. And you actually need to do that, because if not you, there's nobody who's going to save the world. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Jim. And 200 pitch decks, that's really some commitment, and definitely practice makes people perfect. And I love your tip, imagine the world, indeed the best advice one can get as a founder. We just heard from Jim Donnie. We didn't have the slides up that time, sorry, but he's the CEO of Armada Aeronautics, who kindly offered us to add a few words here. Now we will introduce you to our courageous and original thinkers who have reached here as top 8 finalists. And I would like to invite Edward Munt, who is also a founding partner of Lisa, to add a few words here and take over the next part of the presentation.
Sure, thanks, Deepti. Yeah, so you see all of our founders, they've been through just an amazing journey to get to this point. And, the really great part of being part of Lisa is just seeing these ideas go from, from a seed germinating the whole way to what you're going to see today. So if we go to the next slide, take a minute to introduce our judges for today. Instead of me rambling on, maybe if each of them could take a minute to introduce themselves. So if we'll start with Leor.
Hey everyone, such a pleasure to be here. I'll give a quick intro because I know we're running a little slow on time. But on my end, started my career in strategy and finance, and then started a digital marketing talent marketplace. My co-founder runs about 7 years ago. Didn't know what I wanted to do next. I love digital marketing, but it wasn't necessarily my passion. So I ended up coming to Stanford for grad school, where I guess my first initiative was starting a first of its kind class fund, where all of our LPs were our classmates, and we only invest in our classmates' companies. That first fund did well. We've kind of started a couple more kind of with that in that same vein. We're on fund 3 there. And then I joined Floodgate as part of that project as well. From Floodgate's perspective, we were one of the first 3 seed funds back in the late 2000s. The co-founding partners, Ann Miraco and Mike Maples, had this idea that you didn't necessarily need to raise $5 million and sell 50% of your company to get started, and that 500,000 is the new 5 million. In some ways, maybe valuations have changed and such over the course of time, but in many ways, our mandate has remained the same, and that's working with founders early, way too early, and even in some cases, in the case of Lyft, as an example, legally ambiguously too early. And so that's what we do. We invest across the spectrum, B2B, B2C, crypto, all sorts of things, typically in the US, occasionally with kind of cloud-based go-to-markets as well. And, you know, it's just such a pleasure to be here, hearing y'all's stories and hearing introductions as well. And I feel very privileged. So thank you.
Thank you, Leor. Next up is Dan Matthews, who's maybe a name you've heard from within the lead community in Stanford in general. Dan?
Yeah, great to meet everyone. I've enjoyed being part of LISA over the past couple of years. You know, at heart, I'm a builder. I spent 20 years building fintech ventures within Bloomberg, then had the honor to go to Stanford's executive program, which is a 6-week program that happens every summer. And you know, I wanted to build something. I met a lot of other people, and we focused on wanting to build community, wanting to build value, very much in Jim's definition, where it's not just positive returns, but it's also positive change. And then also wanted to build a better world, very much like yourselves, like Lisa, like what Jeff shared, and being a part of that. And so over 150 members of the class created Reaction, and you know, Reaction is a global Stanford community and venture fund. We like big, hairy problems, the biggest problems in the world, you know, world health, climate change, and innovation equity. And so we're investing in growth stage companies, and then using this incredible Stanford community to help those innovations prosper and to be able to create more change throughout the world. And if that resonates, we'd love to chat with you more. Our website is reaction.global, and you can find out a lot of information there, and you can also just reach me at dan@reaction.global.
Great, thank you, Dan. And then Hem, I believe I saw you. Hem, sir?
Good morning, everyone. Pleasure to be here. This is my second year having the opportunity of looking at what's going on at LISA and all the great work. So I appreciate the opportunity. I'm the founder and managing partner of Spark Growth Ventures. We are a early mid-stage tech-focused VC firm investing across Pan America and opportunistically internationally. We are doing 2 things to innovate in the venture ecosystem. One is to democratize the VC asset class access for accredited middle class or middle class investors who typically have been shut out through the traditional fund model. And at the same time, creating a wide variety, community of domain experts, thought leaders, people from different parts of the world, and providing them engagement and access to enable our founders through a community-driven model. Our model has really resonated very well, both with the founders as well as with the community globally. We have now around 700 people from all 6 continents who are part of this community. We have backed already 13 companies, soon 14 companies in a matter of just 18 months. And we are, by design and strategy, staying fundless. So currently running the equivalent of around a 50-60 million fund in terms of our velocity, in terms of our capacity. This is the second VC firm I have founded. I was a co-founder, co-managing partner of another VC firm 5 years ago. I've been in the ecosystem 5 years, have done a lot of board work and also pro bono work. Previously, I was a KKR portfolio executive in InsurTech, Wall Street work, strategy, product management work, and in an airline and operations turnaround for a food processing plant. And 20 years ago, I had the opportunity of coming to Stanford and doing a PhD and getting on the academic track. but I went towards the cornfields in Urbana-Champaign. So my affiliation with Stanford is basically the application process from 20 years. But I love Stanford and all the work you guys are doing. Best of luck today.
Thank you, Hemant, and thank you for joining us again in this cohort. We also invited Manny Fernandez to be a judge. Unfortunately, I don't see him in the chat. Manny, are you with us?
No, he actually couldn't join us. He had a last minute emergency, so I think we have 3 panelists for today.
Well, 3 is a good number.
Yeah.
So if we move on, so the way we're going to proceed is each presenter will get 3 minutes, and then we'll leave 2 minutes or so for follow-up questions from our judges. I'd like to go round robin and pick 1 judge per presenter, and then if one of the other 2 judges has a quick follow-up or other point, you're welcome to make it. But again, we want to, in the interest of time, move as quickly as we can. To our founders, good luck. You've got this. You've done great work. Now's your time to shine. And with that, let's get started with Quick Penny. I'll let you know when you have about 10 seconds left to make sure you're wrapping it up. But let's go.
Great. Can everybody see that?
Yes, Andrew, whenever you're ready, just.
Terrific. So QuickPenny, it's a digital wallet that's focused on reducing payment processing fees. For small merchants especially, payment processing fees can be really high. They can be, in some instances, greater than their profit margin. QuickPenny addresses that by focusing on alternatives like ACH. That stands for Automated Clearinghouse, and you can think of it like an automatic electronic check. QuickPenny itself is payment modality agnostic, so it could adapt to things like cryptocurrency down the line. The benefit to customers is going to be that they don't need to remember their financial account numbers. They would not need to type in their home shipping address. For merchants, they're going to benefit from much lower payment processing fees. So turnkey payment processor like Square, Stripe, PayPal, Shopify, they all charge 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. That's pretty much the going rate. Because QuickPenny would focus on ACH, which is much lower, QuickPenny and the merchant bank could charge together 1%, and that would be split between QuickPenny and the merchant bank. So your Stripe or Square, if they were working with QuickPenny, would still make money. The fees in all instances are going to be much lower. They are best displayed graphically. It's a very dramatic difference in fees, especially on high dollar transactions. These are all screenshots from a functioning application. The way QuickPenny works, it's going to be very similar to PayPal. You will click the QuickPenny button at checkout. You will sign into your account, select the bank account, and pay. The advantage for customers, again, is going to be that they don't need to type in or remember their bank account numbers or their bank routing numbers. We partner with Finicity. There's other alternatives that are also available. Users will find their bank and authenticate their themselves through their bank. So QuickPenny, this huge competitor out there, there is a strategy for challenging PayPal and Venmo, and that is to compete asymmetrically. QuickPenny is just taking on the digital wallet piece. So QuickPenny could work with any payment processor. The idea would be to try to align with your Stripe, your Squares, or any merchant bank for that matter, and leverage their network to compete with PayPal. Starting out, I've been targeting charities. I've spoken to a few this last week. The rationale is that donors are motivated to reduce fees. There's also no mailing address involved, so it's a simpler use case. E-commerce is a bigger eventual opportunity. The biggest companies the biggest financial service companies out there all have to do with payment. There's an extraordinary value creation opportunity if this vision could be realized and executed. My background is in financial services. I've worked across hedge funds, private equity, and investment banking. my academic background is as an engineer, and that is what helped me to manage the build out of the application that we have so far. That's it for my presentation. I'm looking forward to hearing your questions. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Andrew. Leora, did you want to start? Did you have any questions or comments you'd like to make?
Yeah, absolutely. Andrew, thanks so much. Just curious from your perspective of what's the why now here. So, you know, on paper, the idea of kind of lowering fees just sounds super exciting. I imagine a lot of parties involved are going to, you know, be, you know, excited about that possibility. So curious from your perspective, why hasn't anyone really gone after this before or been successful in doing so?
Sure. I think part of it is that it didn't used to be as easy to facilitate the payment by ACH. There are things out there where you will type in your bank account number, your bank routing number. That's not very user friendly. I mean, most people, they don't know those numbers and they feel uncomfortable typing them in. This would be a way that would make people feel more comfortable because they'd be authenticating themselves via their bank app, and then they also would not need to type in those numbers.
Got it. And do I have time for another question as well, or?
Yeah, quickly, but yes, please.
Okay, and then yeah, just curious in terms of, you know, kind of capturing your first couple of customers. You know, one of the concepts we always talk about is a hacky way for growth. So curious, you know, what you think you're going to be able to do kind of creatively to kind of get around the fact that there are these larger incumbents as well.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the challenge. The idea with charities is that their donors will be motivated to reduce the fees, and there'd be a more compelling, I think, rationale for usage in that particular sector.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, and thank you. Dan or Hem, anything very quickly, or can we move on?
I just have a very quick question on the defensibility. So what do you think provides you long-term defensibility, and why can't someone else come in and do exactly what you're doing with maybe more capital or network in the ecosystem?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the defensibility is going to be ultimately the network. The challenge, I think, is not the defensibility, is breaking in and acquiring that that network.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you very much, Andrew. Great job. Next up, if you want to stop sharing, we've got Hey You.
Let's see if I stop. There we go.
Julia and team.
Yes. Hello, I'm going to demonstrate the screen. Let me know when you see it.
You're good to go.
1 second. Not right. Okay. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, go.
Hey You is the solution to detect, manage, and combat burnout at work. I would like to start with a very simple question. Do you know anyone who is under burnout? This problem has become so massive so that basically everyone knows what it means to be under burnout, especially after COVID-19 pandemics with all the remote work that we have. This is Pat. Pat is a project manager who lost 50% of his team because of burnout. Pat is so frustrated because it takes so long time and a lot of money to replace key people and rebuild productive teams. Pat wishes he could know about burnout in the team early before it became an issue. Hey You is the solution to detect burnout in time. We use scientific-based technique to identify specific level of burnout in a department or a small group of people. Once this problem is identified in the department, we help with AI. We have AI coach bots, which will help managers to navigate through the problem and get ready for the communication. We are different from other similar solutions because we put our focus on managers, as we see them as key players in any organization, especially when it comes to people management. Very often managers have no skill to coach, engage, and support people, which can be one of the main reasons for burnout. We did some market validation, and after customer interviews, we've got 5 letters of intent from IT companies who are happy to pilot together with us once we have a project ready. Market size is booming as global stress management market reached phenomenal $18 billion in 2020, and this number is going to reach year after year for the next decade. We will pilot with one of our customers later this year. Once we've got product validation, we are going to expand to the US. We are an amazing team of 3 people, and together we have over 18 years of sales, business development, digital consulting, and organizational change management. And what is more important, we have been under burnout. We have this experience, unforgettable experience. We are planning to build this solution this year, and we are looking for seed funding in the amount of $1.5 million so that we have non-stop production and testing of our solution. This will bring us to market-ready MVP with our first client. We can't wait to have the solution as soon as possible because now is the moment. Now is the right time to have it on the market. This product is extremely needed in these post-COVID times. We are happy to talk about this in detail. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Perfect, Yulia. Thank you very much. Great job. Dan, any follow-up questions?
Yeah, sure. It's a great opening question, Yulia. Certainly, I think most people are burnt out these days, and increasingly so as the world is going through what it's going through. One fundamental question is how do you make money today, and then what's that going to evolve into in the future?
All 3 co-founders, we are people managers, and we do different types of jobs. So we all work in IT companies.
No, sorry.
You mean the product?
Hey, you. What's the business model? What's the revenue model? How do you charge your customers?
Yeah. This is our business model. 1 is a year-long subscriptions, and we are planning to have 2 types of plans. One is for employees, $70 per year per 1 person, and $120 per year per manager. These people are going to use AI coaching bots to deal with the problem. These prices are based on market research, based on the prices that our competitors have, and other software as a service companies that provide software for managers.
Got it. So this is almost like a digital therapist subscription, and the pilots that you're working with are going to apply that to an employee base and test it. It's a good question. We try to be more a data company and a company which aggregates the situation in the specific department or team of people, and then based on this information, we see how we can help managers specifically to deal with this problem. So it's not really about mental health, but it's the first step to avoid mental health problems within organizations. So we can provide some mental health therapy services, but on behalf of our partners, for example. But we would like to focus more on like being specific in what to do in this situation. How shall I be productive right now or here with my team with this specific problem with burnout? Got it. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Leor or Hem, anything very quickly?
Yeah, just curious from the LOIs that you received, were those from your network? Were those from cold outreach? Like, how did you get those first 5 LOIs that you mentioned?
Yeah. So we talked with many potential customers. However, first of all, we tried to reach to people we know. So companies, all of us used to work to, or our friends are working there, or we asked for connections. And this is how we've got really good contacts. And people are very happy to have something like this. It sounds like we are trying to solve huge problems of burnout, which is not possible. However, once you know about this problem, this is the first step. So simply providing aggregated data for managers will already help a lot. The second step is to teach managers how to deal with this situation. And yes, I hope we will get some funding to make very speedy developments to try it out. If no, then we will start at a lower pace. But since we have already some potential customers, we will definitely try this solution out.
Thanks again, Yulia. Okay, so next up,
Thank you.
we've got Net Analytics with Deepak.
Okay, thank you very much. I'd like to introduce my co-founder, John Bednarik. John, you
Hello,
there?
everyone. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Loud and clear.
Great.
So go ahead and get started. Thanks.
Great. Good morning, everyone. I hope you had an easy time getting on this call. Surprisingly, that's not the case for everyone every time. Deepak, my colleague and CEO of Net Analytics, and myself have nightly calls. And the most repetitive sentence is, can you hear me? Can you see me now? How about now? All these issues relate to the network, and that's our mission, making the network work. The network has become the critical function of business, and optimal performance of the network is paramount. Businesses are increasingly outsourcing and adding components, creating more complexity, and talent to support it is very costly. And there is a cost. 34% of enterprise report costs in excess of $1 million for an hour of downtime, let alone the negative impact across the company. Solving this leads you to a huge market opportunity, estimated around $9 billion per year with a growth rate of around 10%. Our business model is a software as a service monthly subscription model. It's based on a charge per network element. Customer and partners will be able to order and deploy our software from the cloud through our market website. Now to Deepak for the product. Deepak?
Thank you very much, John. This is gives you a quick overview of our product. We're already on par. We've already developed the product. It's in the hand of customers, and we have 9 active field trials, 4 backlog. We just don't have enough resources. This gives you an idea of the actual level of accomplishment we've achieved. We're already on par with established network management vendors. Now we're adding the anomaly detection and root cause, which is why we need funding. The main benefits, as we can see after talking to various customers following the Embark program, is we have service providers, basically anybody who's developing applications that depend on the network. This tool will help their product work actually better, and they have an understanding of the unknown factor, which is a network. ISPs will benefit tremendously because now they can actually solve problems that have been training off for years, how to optimize customer experience at lower operations costs. And at the same time, it also gives end users end-to-end network visibility to see what actually the service is failing. Why us? We're the only company that has expertise in this area more than anybody else. We have 85 patents in networking. We're the only company that actually has our approach documented in technically reviewed peer journals. So we're technically very sound. We have industry experience. We learned machine learning from Google. We learned service provider networking from Verizon, and we learned enterprise networking from Sun Microsystems. Here's a team. Myself is I'm the CEO, CTO right now, with 10 years at Verizon, 11 years at Sun Microsystems, and 7 years at Google, 85 patents, technical publications and books. John, I've known since high school. He's an established business professional on the marketing business side. That's where a perfect team. We have a team of software engineers, very hungry for knowledge, really hardworking, motivated. And we have both a software and an engineering team in India.
10 seconds.
We're asking for $6 million funding. If you look at most of our competitors, they've asked 10 times more than that. They spent the first few years dilly-dallying, trying to figure out, we know exactly what we need to do, how to win, and how to execute. And we're also looking for money for product launch. And that's it.
Great.
Hey, great job, guys. Way to get it nice and tight with the parameters.
We practice a lot.
So Hem, you're up. Any questions for these gentlemen?
Hey, Deepak, thanks a lot for the presentation. Strong presentation. Very quickly, can you hit on what is the competitive edge or differentiation, and why you and why not someone else? Because overall, the problem is well known, that there is a large problem. It needs to be addressed. And seemingly on the surface, a lot of people are already working towards solving it or providing similar products and services. So what's so differentiated about what you're doing?
There's nobody that has a level of expertise in networking at the enterprise and the service provider, as well as machine learning, as we do. We're the only company that has been doing this for decades, whereas other companies, if you look at them, they all of a sudden switch into this area because they're coming from different backgrounds. They're coming from geology, business. All of a sudden, they're experts in networking. So I've seen this happen for Verizon. They try to assemble a team of data scientists and networking, and they never talk to each other. It's like building a house. You can get the best framer, the best plumber, but unless the general contractor knows everything really well, it will never succeed. We know everything far better than our competition.
And if I may, Deepak, just to add in there, it's really about being pragmatic here. Everyone knows about this problem, and they've been trying to solve it by adding more boxes and routers and switches and creating a network management system, even leveraging machine learning AI, but they haven't received the pragmatic benefits of it. What we're really doing is taking the expertise and knowledge of Deepak and networking and incorporating it into our software-based product, which we know with speed, accuracy, and agility, no one else could get to in terms of identifying problems in the networks before they happen. It's a very pragmatic approach. And we actually have like 9 field trials going on today, and people are just amazed.
Are you looking at putting patents around what you're doing, or are you going to just keep it as a trade secret?
Most likely, we're going to probably do a combination of both. As you know, most of the patents are really for marketing. If you take a look at the patents of our competitors, they've they showed the flaws with their approach. It might be actually in a red herring. So we could do either way. We have a track record of knowing how to deliver patents better than most of our competitors have. We have a track record of delivering. We know how to execute. Working at Google is not easy unless you know how to deliver software. So we can do that very well. And we have a team in India that's very motivated. And these guys can also work at Facebook and Google. They choose to work for us because this is a very tight team that we have.
Thanks. Leora or Dan, anything, any follow-ups?
No questions is a good thing.
None for me.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was a really great job. I appreciate you both. Next up is Easy Money. Deepak, if you could, there you go. Nikolai and Tranesh, okay. All right, we see your screen, so as soon as you're ready.
Yeah, we are. Can you hear me well?
Yes, loud and clear.
Cool. Hi, everyone. My name is Nikolai. We'll present jointly with Chernak. So let's start. Easy Money is a tool for the financial services industry. Our goal is to automate, personalize, and simplify navigation across retail financial products. Easy Money is led by 3 founders with extensive background in product development, engineering, and previous startups. We are also supported by a group of senior advisors with experience in financial services, ranging from global players like Bank of America and Citibank, and also regional players like Bolta Insurance. Please meet Agata. Like many of our prospective customers, Agata is struggling to track manually by spreadsheet her finances across multiple products and is overwhelmed by the data from 3 banking apps, each one including cards, loans, deposits, insurances, investments, and so on. It's time consuming for her, repetitive, and error prone, and we believe Agata deserves better. Easy Money is a platform that collects data signals, including those sneaky hidden fees from Agata's multiple bank accounts via API into a single user-friendly interface. Agata will potentially make thousands of dollars every year from paying less commissions and switching to more profitable products suggested by the platform. Moreover, Agata doesn't need to become a part-time accountant to manage her finances. Easy Money will help her make smart, stress-free financial decisions, saving her at least 1 full day per year, as comes from our calculations, for what she truly wants: her career, family, and friends.
Easy Money differs from the competition in that it's free, simple, isn't focused on stock investments, and provides unbiased and independent insight into the real costs and returns of various financial products. We see a clear demand for Easy Money in multiple countries, including the US. We aim at countries with large online populations, prioritizing specific pain points in each market: cash credits in Russia, housing in Europe, and student loans in the US, and so on. We will drive early adoption through bloggers, media, and cause marketing, as we believe ordinary people will really connect with Easy Money's offering. For broader adoption, we will complement this with paid user acquisition. We will initially target countries with rising inflation issues, and substandard pension systems where the need for the product is sorely felt, and then move to a broader global launch to the US and beyond. While our product would remain free to customers, banks should pay for customer leads. As our customer base grows, we'll add more freemium services, start ads, promote product listings like marketplaces do, and seek ways to monetize anonymized data sets.
10 seconds.
To bring Easy Money to market, we estimate an investment of around $900,000 US to support our startup activities and launch our MVP into phase 1 target markets. Thank you for your time and attention.
Okay, guys, great job. Wonderful job. Lior, any comments or questions?
Yeah, I appreciate the time to you both. Just curious, what would be the 1 or 2 things that would keep you up at night in terms of the key risks of the business?
That's a great question. Thanks. I think the risks are many, and probably to differentiate, competition is high. Although we really believe we have a very different and innovative value proposition, it's still a risk. And managing partnerships with retail financial organizations can bring surprise. So yeah, we see a lot of risks. However, we believe they're manageable.
Yeah, we feel the user interface is what will differentiate us once we have that up and running. Yeah, thank you.
Dan or Hem?
No further questions.
I guess if you had to pick one thing that really is what sticks out as most different about your approach versus others, that's going to make you the winner at the end of this, what would that one thing be?
I think we have mentioned this on one of the slides. I would put it as simple versus complicated or sophisticated, because all other competing services, they provide great instruments. However, they tend to overconsume money. I'm sorry, money as well, but time of their customers. Well, we believe that most people actually don't want to spend time on that at all. They want something very simple and fast that will just solve their problems and save them time for doing what they really want to do.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nikolai. That was a great job, guys. And simple and fast is always good. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next up, we've got Chris Creason with Connect. You're on mute, Chris.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm trying to just bring up my slide deck here. Okay. Is my slide deck up?
Not yet.
Sorry about that.
There we
go.
There we go. Whenever you're ready.
So Lior, Dan, Hem, thank you so much for being here. My name is Chris Creason. I am the founder of Ensel Games. I am the sole member of it. I have founded 2 companies already. I'm a lawyer and a storyteller. So I have a law firm I founded, and I also have a story consultancy. I work with contractors. So my running partner is my artist. She's the one that does the fantastic artwork that you're going to see. And my sister is my graphic designer, and she's excellent as well. So people have a real desire for connection. And I looked into why that is. So connections actually create a sense of euphoria in us. And believe it or not, there's a lot of things that people do to create this sense of euphoria. And it's actually really hard to create euphoria in healthy ways. So just imagine if you had a way that you could make connections that are real, and also I'd say safe. And that's what Ensel Games does. So we help make connections real. Our first game is called Connect, and it is really based on storytelling, and it is a card deck, so it's portable. So what makes the game unique is its portable storytelling for people. I can show you a deck here. I've got a bunch of them. It's essentially a connection in a box. It's a card game with 6 levels of increasingly deep connections, and it's ritual based. And when I say that, Lior, sometimes that scares people because they think, well, that might be something strange. But what I've discovered is ritual is really essential for the process. There's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an ending to what is going on. So our target audience, we've done a ton of beta testing with this. We have about 300 decks out there with people from 18 to 80, and you'd be amazed. It works with everybody because they're telling their own stories. So the game is within them, Dan. I didn't do the math on how many people are in the world between 18 and 80. It's probably more than millions. I think I underestimated my market there. So the business model, we've got Enso Games is an LLC. We've got a seller's page on Amazon. $25 is what our competitors sell their decks for. So that's our price. We've kind of been doing some light traction in colleges, nursing homes, even conferences. So places where people are in small communities, $50,000 for 50,000 decks. That's what our manufacturer charges when we hit that volume. Our competition, there's a couple other card games out there like this. Frankly, they're not that good because they're just a series of questions. We're ritual based. It makes all the difference in the world. So I'd love to have a little discussion with you, Leo or Dan Hem. Thank you so much for your time.
Right at 3 minutes. Great job, Chris.
I got a timer here, so.
So Dan, do you want to lead off with any questions or comments?
Sure. I mean, I'm dying to know what the story is behind the name Enso Games.
That's a great question. So it's an Enso is, which is that circle symbol, Dan, is a Zen. So it's a Japanese symbol that represents enlightenment, but the Enso is always left open because the process of enlightenment is not complete. And so we kind of view like the connection process is ongoing. My artist, so Quinn was born in Vietnam. And so it's a little bit of cultural connection. If you see the Enso game symbol, that's actually a Vietnamese script that she came up with for us.
I knew you'd have a great story.
Yeah, thank you.
So Lior or Hem, any questions for Chris?
Hey, Chris, great presentation. What are the unit economics?
I'm sorry?
What are the unit economics?
What do you mean exactly by that?
What do you retail at, and what is the all-in cost per deck, for example? Or
Yeah.
per game?
Yeah, okay, thanks, Hem. So the decks are cheaper the more we manufacture. I can tell you I manufactured 10 and they were $25 a piece. 50,000 is about $1 a deck. And Amazon takes a small percentage of the sales. There's really not much more in terms of demand. I've got a web page that's not expensive. I'm going to have to get insurance. I'm hoping that won't be expensive. I'm guessing that on a sale of a $25 card could probably make about $20.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, great job, Chris.
Thank you so much. If anyone wants to buy a deck right now for $50,000, it's the new 500,000. I've got one right here for you. So thank you.
Wow, with a shameless plug too. Nice. Yeah, great job, Chris. Next up, we've got Provide a Meal with Adeyemi. There you go. Okay, we see your screen. Don't hear your voice though. You might be muted.
Hello, everyone.
There you are. Whenever you're ready.
Right. Hello, everyone. My name is Yemi Adesina from Provide a Meal. Nigeria is one of the countries with the largest population of people who live below the poverty line. As of today, we have 82 million people who are at risk of extreme poverty and extreme hunger. This is due to a high level of unemployment and a lack of social security structures within the country. This inspired my team and I to develop an application that helps individuals get 1 meal a day for a period of 120 days. Our platform allows for corporate organizations and individuals to make a donation. And the donation is converted to meal codes. These meal codes are distributed through our network of charity partners and also directly to beneficiaries. The beneficiaries in turn take the meal codes to a partner restaurant to redeem a meal per day. And our platform also allows for instant feedback to our donors. This is the only platform, charity tech platform, that allows for instant feedback the moment a meal code is claimed. And we also ensure that every donation goes to a mill and is used for the purpose for which it was donated. As part of our product or our services, we also enlist our beneficiaries onto a social assistance database, which is essentially a social help database in partnership with our development partner, GIZ. They get trained, job and skill acquisition training that culminates in them getting a job at the end of the day. This is tailored towards self-sustainability so they can get off the help after a period. So far, we have provided 2,298 meals through our partner restaurants, and we've received donations from corporates and individuals of up to $4,500. And we have put 1,000 people through skill acquisition training and have provided 50 paid jobs to individuals within the on-demand delivery sector. Our goal for the first year is to provide 2.4 million meals to feed 20,000 individuals and provide 2,000 jobs, which essentially is 10% of our beneficiary base. We currently charge 10% on every $2 meal, because each meal is $2. We currently charge 10% per meal, and our partner restaurants are happy to part with 10% because we bring them business. And we have a plan to monetize data and our job placement services further down the line. We're currently looking to raise $800,000 in seed capital to fund our technology integration, marketing, operations, as well as infrastructure. Our team comprises, I'm sorry, I think I just got kicked out of
yeah, we just
PowerPoint.
lost you, but you were at time anyway. Just want to say who your team members are with quick background.
Yeah, our team comprises of 5 individuals with combined 55-year experience in data analytics, business intelligence, marketing, and app development, as well as business development and strategy. Thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to working with some of you to bring this dream to life. Thank you.
Thanks, Yemi, and good job dealing with a little technical difficulty there at the end. Hem, questions or comments?
This is a great idea, and I think there are rare ideas that you run into where you have the financial aspects, the business aspects, which are strong, and also the I would say the social impact or just the charitable aspects. So well thought out business plan. Can you just hit on what the traction till date is, Yemi?
Sorry, can you say that again, please?
Is there any traction till date? Can you just hit on what have you been able to do till date?
Yes, I mentioned earlier that we've been able to provide about 2,000 meals, and we've also received over $4,000 in donations from corporate organizations and individuals. We've also gotten a partnership with GIZ. GIZ is the German corporation, the German equivalent of USAID. They partner with us to provide skill acquisition training to our beneficiaries. So I can say that we are, to a large extent, on our way.
Got it. Thank you.
Thanks, Hem. Dan or Leor, anything else for Yemi?
Yeah, Yemi, I think it's wonderful what you're doing. The humanity aspect is incredible. From a venture aspect, looking at a return to investors, you're looking to raise $800,000. What's the cash flow coming back to investors, and how are you driving it?
Cash flow coming back to investors is through our 10% surcharge. If you look at this goal we have for the first year, this 2.4 million meals is around $5 million, and we're looking to generate 10% in revenue. Now, this is just one of the revenue sources, as I earlier mentioned. We're also looking at monetization and job placements. We've not really finalized, the returns from our data and job placement. But one thing is sure, Nigeria is a green bed for social, enterprise. There are a lot of people who are willing to give towards these type of programs. And we're looking to actually create a new ecosystem where individuals and corporate organizations see donations to the less privileged as part of their daily activities.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Yemi. Great job. Really nice presentation. So next up, we've got Alliance.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we see it now.
Okay, this is good. Okay, all right. Can I get started?
Whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Thank you. Imagine a world where not only a few, but many students are able to find internships while studying. If we enable this, it will enable uplift the quality of life of many as opposed to the few. This is Alliance vision, a vision to democratize internship opportunities. Hi, I'm Nazar Kharaj, and along with my co-founders, I would like to share our vision. Our framework is to create a platform to connect students looking for internship with SMEs. Our framework will be built on a platform that connects students, SMEs, small, medium enterprises, and universities. Our vision begins with Sarah. Sarah is a talent recruiter. She's working in an SME. She's looking for interns in technology and sciences. Where does she look for? Where are the positions advertised? Which platform? SMEs doesn't have brand power, meaning interns are not knocking on the doors trying to look for internships. On the other side of the coin is Hashima. Hashima is a student in a college. She's looking for internship opportunities. The question is, how does she go about looking for internship opportunities besides the regular placement offices in college? That's where the Alliance value proposition comes into play. There is no dedicated platform for SMEs to interface with students interested in internship from over 4,000 colleges. And these 4,000 colleges doesn't include the Ivy League colleges, by the way. SMEs and interns both benefit from a dedicated platform. SMEs get resources at a lower cost and has access to a large talent pool. The Alliance platform creates an opportunity for both Sarah and Hashima to form an alliance on the Alliance platform. Through our platform and services, many Sarahs and Hashimas can come together. What is our business model? It'll be a subscription-based service for SMEs. Our capital need is 2.5 million from year 2022 to 2025. And we expect year 2026 to be an inflection period where we'll start generating meaningful revenue. What is the competitive landscape? Everyone is familiar with LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very well known. And along with LinkedIn, there are some unicorns out there, which is Handshake and Gem. And Gem just raised $100 million last November in year 2021. So what differentiates us? What differentiates us is the fact that we are solely based on providing a platform for internships. What are we looking for? We're looking for advice from people like we're talking to right now, feedback on our strategy and capital. We have a very experienced team, experience in operations strategy, expertise in B2B, customer solutions, and also strategic IT. What is our vision? Our vision is to democratize internship and make people's life better, which we intend to accomplish through the Alliance platform. Thank you for your time.
Okay, great job, Nazar. Right on time. Leor, any questions for Nazar and the team?
Yeah, curious how y'all landed on the subscription model. I guess I would have thought before you presented that it would make more sense to have just folks either pay some form of fee to obtain access to the platform, or perhaps advertisements or some other models. So just curious how you landed on subscription.
Yeah, so we in our exploration phase in terms of talking to customers and users, the feedback that we got was that a subscription model would be much better for them, so they have continuous access. And later on, it's possible that advertisements become an opportunity, but initially, based on our research and our engagement with these small medium enterprises, they thought having this access to a portal of students, a portal of people who are looking for internship, it might actually work out better. And these were people that I've known for years that I had a discussion with.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay, Dan or Hem, anything else?
Just a very quick question on the go-to-market. How do you plan on acquiring both the supply side and the demand side and scaling?
So, so our strategy is actually I think it's unique in a sense that, I mean, the supply side, we are actually thinking of getting to students in high schools. So one thought that comes to my mind is that, we would probably have like $1,000 grants or scholarship for students who actually writes an essay. And, in this way, we build up the brand recognition for students. Then when they are, then they are on our platform and eventually talking to companies. I mean, that would be, I think, is where we are looking to formulate a strategy and looking for some advice in terms of what is the best way of engaging the demand side, the companies on the demand side.
Thank you.
Okay, great job, great job. Really well done. Thanks so much, Nizar.
Thank you.
So finally, we have Phone Experts Africa. Frank, if you want.
Hello, everybody. I'll share my screen.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Hello, I'm Frank. 5 years ago, I partnered with my ex-Accenture colleague, Abdoulaye, to introduce the American cell phone repair franchise into Africa. So far, we've opened 17 repair stores in 3 different countries. The problem, imagine you are a mobile phone repairer. You get a client who comes with a broken screen and you don't have the part in stock. In the US, it's simple. You place the order online and the part is delivered to your shop in less than 24 hours. In Africa, it's different. If you are a one-man business, you'll have to close your shop, waste time in traffic to go in a market, a crowded mobile phone market where you are not even sure to get the product you need. Indeed, in most African countries today, the mobile phone repair industry is still very informal. Most players in this industry are small independent repairers. And although we are a bigger organization, we face exactly the same problems every day. Problems of sourcing. There's no proper technical training, industry training. And also there's no phone repair franchise adapted to our markets. In order to address these issues and scale up our business, we are launching Phone Expert. Phone Expert is first an e-commerce website that will supply quality repair parts and tools nationwide. As you can see here, we've completed building the first version of our website. It might seem common in developed countries, but our market research has shown us that this kind of websites practically don't exist in most African countries. Secondly, Phone Expert is an e-learning platform where thousands of young Africans will be able to learn industry skills and launch their own business. And finally, we are going to create the very first African cell phone repair franchise with marketing that will be tailored to our markets and cultures. Regarding the market, there are 240 million smartphone users in Africa. We intend to launch our venture in Nigeria, which is the most populated country in Africa. We also expect the market to grow because the population is still very largely under-equipped. Our business model, we sell, We sell phone parts with up to 60% profit margin. training with 80% profit margin, and we are going to secure recurring revenue with our franchise royalties. What our funding needs is $1.3 million to invest in technology, hiring the best talent, purchase stock, deploy aggressive marketing, and move to new facilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Fantastic job. Dan, questions or comments for Frank?
Yeah, really interesting. And one question would be, what's the company, if you think about adapting proven business models to the local markets there in Africa, what company would you say is a benchmark for what you're trying to do?
So because we are under an American franchise, we know a couple of companies like Mobile Defenders or Wholesale Gadget Market who have their e-commerce website, but we are bringing something additional, which will be the e-learning part and the franchise part.
I guess, I look at big franchises like Best Buy, but then introduce Geek Squad afterwards to do a lot of repairs and so forth. Is it almost vice versa though, that you've used the repairs to get into the retailing?
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
So you started off with repairs and you really articulated the problem well, where the repairs are very difficult in Africa. It's not an online market. But then you're using the repairs to be able to set up a retail presence and to be able to sell phones, cell phone parts and so forth, putting you into technology retail. And is that your path? And in the end, do you expect to make more money repairing the phones, or do you expect to make more money being an overall technology retail franchise?
We tend, because by repairing phones, we are limited with the brick and mortars walls of our shops. We intend to be majorly suppliers of phone parts, where we can sell bigger volumes all around the different countries where we intend to operate.
Congratulations, Andrew Handel.
Thank you.
Pavel, you will next.
Yeah, so this second place is got by Frank and Abdoulaye from the Experts Africa. So congratulations.
Great. And the winner is...
Drum roll.
The winner is, overall winner is Net Analytics, Deepak and his team.
Congratulations.
That's fantastic. Wow. Thank you. That's amazing.
Congratulations.
Great job. Really great job.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, congratulations to you and all of the participants. I don't know, I'll maybe just open the mic for a few minutes. We're way over. Wow. And if our judges want to give any input regarding the voting and the top three or anyone else, please just feel free to share. I don't know, Dan, did you want to start?
Yeah, sure. I thought all three of them were great. Quick penny in one word, simple. The name, the URL, the approach, and you have to push a rock up the hill for many, many years to become the next community. But if you're willing to take the pain and put in the energy, it could potentially be be something we all use one day. Frank, your model was really appealing to me. I thought in one word, it was an aspirin, not a vitamin. The way you described the problem there, it's something that people need a solution, and they're going to find that solution through your service. Then you can take that and turn it into a bigger network and a growing market for something that's no doubt going to grow exponentially in the African market. And then last with the networks, in one word, it was conviction. You're a proven technologist. You had conviction in your presentation. It was clear, it was succinct. And whether you stay on what you're doing there or you pivot because you found a better way, it seems that you know what you're doing, and people will get behind you.
I echo Dan's thoughts for all the three players, but I also would add that everyone actually did a phenomenal job, and congratulations to everyone to be finalists and to be on this entrepreneurial journey. I think it's the pinnacle of self-actualization to be able to create something, conceive and then give birth and then scale it. So best of luck to everyone. But for the top three, amazing job. I think the common themes that resonated were big markets, good, well thought out business plans, subject matter expertise, and a model which can scale. So those things resonated quite a bit. And I think there was consistent feedback from all the judges as to which were the top 3-4 players. And Dan has pretty much hit on those elements. So I won't bore you with repeating them.
No, thank you, Ham. I'll just say that, again, this has just been fantastic. It's been just such a journey. Proud and honored to be a part of it. Within the next couple of days, this video will be shared on Workplace as well as on our YouTube channel. Probably some portion at least will be on LinkedIn as well. And again, I just want to thank and congratulate everyone for their part. So Deepti.
Thank you.
Misha.
Thank you everyone for participating. It was great presentations and all ideas worth pursuing. So really looking forward to see your products on the market. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Guys, I would say it's really hard to work for a startup. I know what it is, and I just wish you to just move forward and do not give up. And your project should be definitely fantastic. Great presentations, great job.
I would mostly echo what all three already said, but I have to say that the amount of dedication everybody has put in, including the entrepreneurs, founders, and all the other teams who worked with us, thank you all. And definitely, I'm pretty sure, even if you were not selected as top three, you would do extremely well outside. So thank you.